Everybody, it's Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is a show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. This conversation is so good, I had to have him back for a third time. Abdul Rahman Muhammad, what's up, man?
What's up?
So we were talking, and you said that you're looking for light, looking for business. So right now, 2019, at my church, I'm preaching about spirituality basics, and the concept of the sermon series, which is a year-long thing, is to remove oneself from the limitations of your flesh to view the world from the lens in the eyes of God.
Okay, yeah, that's deep.
So, not sure what it says in the Quran, but in the Bible, it says that in the beginning God created heaven and the earth was without form or void, and His Spirit hovered over the earth at that moment. He was able to do that because He's a spirit.
Right.
And because of His all-consuming presence, He can be everywhere at the same time and still have your personal situation at the forefront of His mind. And to live your best spiritual life, you have to think and try to live like God. Less about temptation that comes with the flesh, bad choices you make in business and personal lives, and it has to come from deep within.
Right.
And when you talk about you're looking for light everywhere, you're looking for opportunities everywhere, I couldn't help but feel like what you're saying is, and I did this podcast a couple weeks ago, it takes a lot of faith to start a business and to maintain a business, whether you're a believer of some sort or not.
Right.
But you gotta also, like, in a sense, be spiritual to understand and identify opportunities. How do you react to that, man? You know, when I say that.
I agree. I feel like I said, I feel like everybody's walking around with like an aura, right? It's an aura. It's the light. I'm talking about light. You got light. I can see it, right? And when I'm saying it, it's not like some crazy stuff like I'm sitting here and saying you're like glowing, but it's like a certain way that people present to you. And so oftentimes in my day, I come across people, and this is not always like we're doing some kind of transaction. It might be the lady at the counter. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a bagel, but she is just friggin' got the light. Like she's like just doing her job at the next level that day. You know, I tell a joke, she gets my joke. Like it's like we just on it, right? And so those are the people I attract to. I want to be around people that have the light. I don't want to be around, like, I can see dark people too. I don't want to be around those people. I don't want to be around energy that is, oh, well, you know, it's so hard out here, man. It's crazy, man. I can't do. I believe I could do anything. Like, I'm over here thinking, like, yo, we're going to do some crazy stuff. You know, the other day, so I do this workshop, and we haven't talked about the Dream Support Network yet, but
Sorry.
I do a workshop, right? It's called, I do a 10 Types of Dreams workshop, and I have a bigger workshop called the Dream Chasers Workshop. At the beginning of my workshops, I always show my dream chasing reel, because it's like, you know, people will come in, they'll have on a suit or whatever, and they'll say they're this great person, but you ain't got no proof, right? And so I created a dream chasing reel to show the people, like, yo, I'm dream chaser number one. So I was watching the workshop, and this is how I am. I was watching the reel, and I've watched the reel, let's say 100 times, right? And I realized that the reel was not a true representation of what I'm trying to promote to the people. So the reel is all about me traveling all around the world, jumping out of airplanes, doing all this stuff, right? But do you realize that traveling out of the world and doing adventures are only two of the types of dreams that I'm trying to get you to have in your life? And so what I realized is that I got to redo my dream chasing reel, because I have to show them my educational dreams. I got to show them my entrepreneurial dreams, my work dreams, my family dreams. There's more. And so I'm selling them the part that makes everybody feel good, the things that we think, the outcome. I realize that adventures and travel are results, are outcomes of the real dream. So like, take away my people, take away that, everything else doesn't exist. The work has to come first.
Yeah.
You have to have the thing. And so like my life, I put my life into my work at my people. And the results, the outcomes are that I can have a nice house, I can have a nice car, I can travel the world, I can help other people. So it gives you the other things. And so like, that's what I feel like. A lot of times you said some people say, oh, I know Abdul, that's my dude. I'm going to be like Abdul. Don't be like Abdul. You have to find your purpose. I believe I truly am doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't feel like the reason I don't get into all the other stuff is because that's not what I'm supposed to talk. I'm supposed to inspire. I'm supposed to come up with ideas. I'm supposed to make those ideas turn into reality. That's what I'm supposed to do. And so when people know what they're supposed to do, you stop thinking about money and it's just like you just in your element. Like a lot of this stuff it is spiritual in a way, right? Because it's like when you're in your element, it's not like I gotta try. I'm not thinking. I'm just talking.
You just is.
Yeah. Do your thing. Just do your thing. And so like that's what I feel like people. I often wonder what it's like to do stuff where it's like you have to. It's like you got to put a lot into it. A lot of times with me, what I find is that I'm saying to people, I don't really do things that are hard for me. I basically, so if I say I want to be a spoken word artist, right? When I want to do spoken word artist, it's not hard. The poems used to just come out of I'd be thinking about something, and then all of a sudden I could write a poem. It's done. Done. Well, isn't that how everybody does it? Oh, you saying some people take hours to write a poem? No, I wrote the whole poem in one sitting, right? And then after I stopped caring so much about being a spoken word artist, I stopped being able to write poems in one sitting. So it's kind of like people got to go with that energy to the things that draw them in, where it's like life is not necessarily supposed to be hard. Life could be like real, I'm just kind of like floating through life. Oh, why does it seem like everything's easy for him? Well, he only does the things that are easy. I don't do any of the hard stuff. I'm not really even saying to anybody, like, people want to try hard things, right? I don't like the hard things. I like to do the fun, easy things. These are the things that make now, maybe to you, to the viewer, maybe they're saying like, well, that would be hard for me, but that's why you shouldn't do that. Do the thing that, when I do most of the stuff I do it with joy. I do it with happiness. I do it with gratitude. I feel like they want me to talk? I would love to go there and talk. You want me to come on your podcast? Oh, awesome. This is going to be a great morning, you know?
Yeah.
And for the rest of the day, I'm going to be happy about just doing this. We're sitting in a room, you know what I'm saying? But it's something I want to do. I would do this for free. I would meet you every week and do this every week.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Hey, but you know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing I think a lot of times, when you talk about leadership and business, it's like you have to have the desire really. Like, it's like I want to be a leader. It's not like I say I have to take it. Nobody's going to, like, the one thing I learned when I had my last job, I had gone for, this is all leading up to me starting My People. I went for an interview for a senior vice president position at the Village. And I felt like I got the interview because of my dad, right? My dad was there. The guy said, we'll give him an interview. It's the son, right? And I was like, that day when I walked out of the interview, I was like, I knew they did that. You know how the guy in the interview, he was sitting like this, like half the interview, and he wasn't really caring about what I was talking about. He didn't see my potential. He couldn't see my light, right? He didn't know that I was gonna be somebody. And so when I walked out of that interview, I said, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna be somebody. In this community, he can't stop me from being somebody, you know? And so I put in my mind that I have something. Nobody's going to be able to tell me that I can't be a senior. You know what? I don't want to be a senior vice president. I'm going to be executive director, just like him. So when we go to an event or something, we could be sitting right next to each other because we're both executive directors. I'm going to get into the door that I have to get into. I'm going to make myself what I have to be. I'm going to learn what I have to learn because they're not going to keep me out of it. And so that's my whole thing is that I want it so bad, you know? And so when you, I'll stay up all night thinking about these things. I'm not thinking about, oh, I gotta go to sleep. I'm thinking about how do I get us in the next position. Right now, I'm telling people at my agency, right, 2019, I have worked out a whole plan for 2020. Right now, at my agency, I'm thinking about the next 20 years, right, and figuring out which one of my children are gonna take over the agency or who can take the My People banner and keep it going because I want to create a legacy.
That's that Dame Dash talk.
I love Dame Dash.
If you ain't a part of that culture, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. I love Dame, but because it's real.
It's real.
Like my people, just like my dad did for me, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that me and my brothers recognize is that my father, when we were kids, my father had an organization called Peace Associates. Mm-hmm. So my thing, I have certain terms I like. I like the word my people. I like the word dream. These are my words. Or dream chaser, even more specifically.
Right.
My father's word was peace. And so under Peace Associates, he had a brochure made where he was the executive director. And I was like the director of this. And my other little brother was the director. And we were kids. This is like vision. This is like the future. Mm-hmm. Peace Associates is the precursor to My People Clinical Services. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a point at My People where I worked there, my father worked there, my mother worked there, my wife works there, my sister worked there, my other sister worked there, my brother worked there, my other brother. That's it. Mm-hmm. He planted the seed for what we are. He put it, and so that's maybe a parent's listening. What seeds are you planting your kids? I'm the product. Like, this is not like I didn't just pop up. I didn't just see a guy and say, I'm gonna be like him. No, I lived with the guy, right? His birthday was on Sunday. Happy birthday. Rest in peace. I miss you so much, Dad, right? But I lived with the guy that was constantly always telling us what we could be. I'm just the result. This is the same thing I'm talking about. It's like you put in something and you get an outcome. And so if you grow in fertile land where you believe that you can do anything, that this is the path that you're on, that you're supposed to help our people. So you talk about culture. We started talking about culture, right? And so it's like you think about all of those things. This is what I was brought up on. I was fed this my entire life. And so when somebody can't see, they couldn't see, a lot of times they can't see your potential, right? But I know. And so all I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to. My father was a great speaker. My father was a great presenter. And all I'm doing is just, if you plant greatness in the soil, so you're starting off saying, okay, we're going to plant this greatness tree. Okay, so what do you expect it to produce? I'm the product of a greatness tree. That's it. And so people need to think about, what do they produce from? And if you haven't been produced by a greatness tree, lucky like me, this is great. I got an opportunity. Yo, change it. Move differently.
In the Bible, you know, it says you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Which we can go in a bunch of areas with that. Mm-hmm. But I want to address rather what you said. If you're listening and you don't have someone who's planted you,
right,
like a relative, some may be saying, where do I go? Mm-hmm. How do I do this? A couple of episodes ago, we talked about people who don't take advantage of the advice. Mm-hmm. And off air, I was talking to you about how I'm constantly teaching, mm-hmm. you know, at the nonprofit I work at, constantly instructing on the business of how this works,
right,
how to deliver services, quality services that meet the need and meet your business objectives. You can't skew one way or the other. You got to mm-hmm. find your place down the middle. For those of you who are watching and trying to figure out, how do I get planted? You have to either find a really good mentor. Mm-hmm. And when you do, you got to humble yourself and submit yourself to their teachings and their advice, mm-hmm. and not ignore it. And or work at a great place where you can learn for free from mm-hmm. somebody who's doing it the way you see yourself doing it.
I agree.
There's no excuse, man.
Or you could even go online too. Right? So like,
yeah,
I like motivational speaking, right?
Yeah.
For years I would watch Eric Thomas, mm-hmm. like every week, just all right, this is how he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how he builds his storyline. You know,
Yep.
it's like studying.
You got to study.
It's not just gonna be given to you. You gotta practice. You gotta study. You gotta put work in. You gotta put time in.
Yes.
When everybody else is sleeping, you gotta be doing something. Like,
Not wannabe. Not, we created a nonprofit on paper. You got to
do it.
do the work, study, listen, digest, ask 1,000,001 questions,
All the
schedule
time.
coffee sessions,
Yeah.
one-on-ones, eat and talks, as you say, right? So the go ahead.
No. That's,
So the business, back to the business for a second. You know, we kind of stopped short here in the last episode, and I wanted to get into the progression of launching the business.
Yeah.
You have 4 jobs,
yeah.
and then you made the comment and said you saw the potential that you can do more.
Mhm.
What did you specifically see? Because I want to draw a distinction between having blind faith, which there's nothing wrong with that,
Mhm.
versus having faith, verified faith.
Yeah.
And let me define that, because as you can see, you know, the name of the church, Living Faith, and I'm
Right.
all about faith. James 2 says, faith without works is dead.
Mhm.
And ultimately, what James teaches is that if you believe something to be true,
Mhm.
you show your belief in that thing by way of acting on that thing.
Mhm.
He gives a story and says, you see a homeless person or a person who's destitute, and you tell them, go be filled, go and be warm.
Mhm.
And yet you don't help him.
Right.
You don't provide the food or the shelter or the clothing.
Mhm.
How can that person have faith that that's going to happen when the person speaking doesn't provide it?
Right.
So faith, biblically speaking, is an action towards what you believe to be right. When you said, I believe that this could grow, what was that thing that made you say, yo, I'm a follow this through?
I had to work.
What do you mean?
So like the referrals were coming in
From
DCF.
So you had the business
was
popping
coming.
off.
And so all it came down to was, can you provide quality services to meet the need that you got coming in?
So there was a justified reason to believe.
This wasn't fantasy. This
No.
was real paper. This was like, here's a referral. And it was based off of, right, that if they make a referral to a bigger agency, it was going to take time. So one of my business models is that we move fast.
Mm-hmm.
So you can call me today and we're going to start tomorrow, if not today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm known for doing stuff that nobody else will do. That's why we're good. I've gone to go meet with a father in New York City on Christmas Eve. Like everybody else is off. I'm Muslim. I've got to go. Because it adds to it adds to your like, yo, my people. So when they tell a story, because half a business is what everybody else is saying about you. So inside of DCF, they're walking around saying, yo, Abdul went to New York on Christmas Eve to go meet with this father. He was Muslim too. So we were both in there like eating, like, yo, I don't know what they doing today, but
Yeah.
So it's like that's what it is that when I see the referrals coming in, I could either say, man, I got to hire a whole bunch of people. I got to do, or I could say, well, I have a master's degree too. I don't get caught up with, I'm the executive director, so now I'm going to executive direct. What does that even mean? Right?
Bro, we call that the bow tie club here.
Right. So
The wannabes.
Look, I have to go get this money. I have to go work. I have to go make it happen.
Right.
And so if I don't have anybody else to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm a great believer in leading by example.
Right.
Right? So I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I won't do.
Right.
I'll do it. And at my people, at the end of the day, at my people, I am the lead janitor if I need to be. Right? I do a little snow removal. I work with some of these little kids. I'll do a supervised visit. Every job at my people I can do.
Facts.
It's my business.
Say it again.
It's mine.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, if I see something that is not congruent with the way that I feel like it should be, let me take off this jacket.
Get it in.
You know, some days I go in my little two-piece suit with all this. Let me take this jacket off and get to work. And then so when you lead like that, the other people have no excuse. You got on jeans.
Yeah.
So the boss is out there shoveling and you just, let's get this shoveling going.
Yeah.
And so
you had verified business. This is not a love story that I want to start a business and all of a sudden one day it just mushroomed and we got 100 staff members. No. So years ago, I started a real estate business after when I graduated from college and it failed. Years later, I relaunched it. And I started doing wholesaling, which after losing everything, it was the easiest, simplest, cheapest way to get back into the business.
Right.
And I was becoming educated, in the business all over again, starting from scratch, relearning what I didn't know.
Right.
And I think this is a point of conversation too, where you can get educated, get mentored. At some point, you got to pull the trigger.
Right.
So I decided one day to pull the trigger. And it wasn't about getting my first deal. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was not getting that first closing. It was about, is someone going to call me?
Right.
So I got out early Saturday morning, which is how I got turned on to NPR 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning Saturday morning. Some good content.
Oh, yeah. Good
Saturday
stuff.
morning.
Yeah.
Bro. And so me in my car putting out our material, marketing material, first weekend, no calls. Didn't matter. Because for me, the fact that I went to the store, bought supplies.
Process.
So next Saturday, did the same thing. I'm chilling at the house with the wife and kids and got a call. It didn't go nowhere. Somebody called me, though.
That's right.
Off of a handwritten sign.
Right.
That probably wasn't that neat. They called me, Abdul.
Yeah.
I didn't get a deal. I didn't get a contract. I didn't close a contract. I didn't do anything.
Right.
The fact that they called me was like, oh,
something's happening.
We about to get lit.
Right.
So the next weekend, and mind you, I was broke. I suffered significant business loss. Credit got smashed. Married with kids, young, just struggling. Man, and I went back and did it again. Started taking a little bit more pride in the signs. Got a couple more calls, no deals. But it was proof 2 weeks in a row, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. Oh, this is lit.
Right.
Eventually got a deal. And eventually stepped my game up to my marketing, got way better. Just like you said, somebody touched it up, bruh.
Changes everything.
So verified reaction, because it took faith to actually launch the little bit that I had,
Right.
just like it did with you. Then my faith had to get stepped up.
Right.
Because now that calls are coming in, same in your situation, what type of faith action you going to take? And this is not a religious conversation. This is about the action of doing what you believe to at least start something to see if it works, just like you said with the co-working space.
Right.
And if you get traction, okay, well, what's the next level of faith? Now, there's a scripture. Sorry, I'm going. It's still sharing scripture. Isaiah 30 says, 30, 20, 21 says, move forward. And your teacher will be in your ear,
Right.
behind you. This is critical, right?
Yeah,
because you and I, we believe in a God, right? I believe in the God of the Bible, right? And for the writer to say, move forward, the teacher will be behind you, which is essence of the Holy Spirit. That's strange because we're supposed to be led by the Holy Spirit.
Okay, yeah.
But it says, move forward. I'm behind you. I'm your teacher. And I'm going to tell you to go left or right as you move forward. I remember when I read that and I was at one of my lowest points. I was like, oh my God. This life is about forward progress.
That's right.
You have to take some sort of step.
Always.
At some point, something told you the co-working space is nah. At some point, something told you the clinical services, you might be onto something. So,
Right.
so you know what, Abdul, go left. All right. After 5 steps, go right.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then keep straight for the next 30 miles. Then you said you get to June, you quit all your jobs, you get to December.
Bang. But the thing is, like, I have no fear of failing either. I fail all the time. I fail all the time. So as much success as I've had, I probably had twice as much failure.
Don't nobody hear that though.
Yeah.
I want to be like Abdul.
Yeah,
Do you really? You know how much I lost? You know what? My credit got smashed, man.
But so because that's part of the game, right?
Yo.
It's people don't realize, like I said, I'm gonna take all the shots. but I'm not even hitting 50%. I'm just shooting, baby. But the thing is that if you shoot enough, the great thing about success is this. Success is like you could be losing the entire game and score no points the entire game and hit the game winner.
Shot. Yeah.
You hit the game winner, and you got the one that they're lifting up out the building. Like, people don't understand. So people stop shooting. This year I'm going to shoot 100 ideas out there. And if I can get one, I'm straight. It's a great year. Some people ain't going to take no shots this year because they still working on getting their business cards right. I don't even give out business cards anymore. Like, you can find me. If you want to find me, I'm the easiest person in Hartford to find. Like, I literally never stopped dreaming on my truck. You know which truck is mine out of all the other trucks.
You said people, this is not just Harvard. This is like wherever you're listening all over this country, all over this world. People are so busy trying to look sexy on paper. I got to go get my suit ready for my photo shoot. Yeah. Bruh, but you can't provide the services because at the end of the day, with your customer, DCF,
yes,
if you stink, if your services stink,
you won't be in business.
You can look good all day, but if you stink,
have to do. Now, I will say, I always tell people, everything I relate, it's the game, right? I used to have, when I first started, I had dreadlocks. Within 3 months, I had cut off my dreadlocks. And I was talking to my brother. My brothers have long dreadlocks, right? And I was saying, like, you got to make people, like, this is all the role. Like, who am I, right? You want me to be the executive director of My People Clinical Services? Well, I need to be able to speak well. I need to be able to walk into this room. I need to be able to be dressed appropriately. I have to be neat. It's like I'm playing all of this stuff. Like, I'm thinking every piece of this puzzle through. I want to succeed in every part of this.
And you're not a sellout.
No, because I look nice.
You smell good.
Excuse my language.
Your shoes are clean.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'm presenting
the best version of yourself.
I have to.
And it's not.
I have to.
It's not a sellout. It's because if somebody comes to your crib to do something and they don't look the part,
I'm selling in. I'm creating what I like. This is what okay. Like I said, I could watch when my father went to work every day. He had on a suit. He was a senior executive at an organization. There's a uniform. I don't even think it's not a suit. It's a uniform. If I was doing plumbing, if I came in with the dang astronaut uniform on, you'd be like, that's not the right outfit for this.
Dog, get out my house.
Like, right? I'm coming as this is my role. Oh, he's the boss. Bosses in people's minds, bosses dress like this. Bosses do this thing. And so it's just playing. You can't try to be the hip hop boss. That only one person can get away with being the hip hop boss. You got to play the role. So they say you fake it till you make it. Yo, when I started My People, I had no suits. I had to go buy a suit to go to that meeting.
Just one suit.
I had my one suit.
One suit.
But then it's like, now you got 5 suits. Then you got 10 suits. Because that's the uniform I'm going to wear every day to go to work. I have to look a certain way to go do the work that I got to do. So it's like, sell out. What are you gonna do? What is the black outfit you should wear? What is what are we doing?
So one of my favorite people, Steve Jobs. His uniform was a
black shirt, mock neck with some jeans. But he was a technology guy, and he could get away with it because he was a billionaire. Hello, if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't wear suits. I would wear an astronaut uniform.
And you're behind a computer all day. You need to be comfortable. Like
Mark Zuckerberg wears jeans, a t-shirt, and a hoodie.
They got multiple versions of that same outfit.
Yeah.
I remember telling a staff person one time, like, I got the same pair of khaki pants in my closet. Because first of all, obviously you want to look presentable. I don't want to think about what I have to wear. Like, it's
a uniform.
I need to look neat and clean, but
it's a uniform.
I just need to
every time make people. Oh, that's a nice. It's not even about what you're wearing. It's put together a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. It's all of these. It's so many like little things, man. This is great.